Welcome back to the Tomb of Illumination. Before we get into this video, I just wanted to raise a point here. A while back I put a post on Facebook about how YouTube, Facebook was shutting down a post I was trying to put up. And if this happened in the past, I would just go get a screenshot and put it on there, and other people can go and search it out. Well, they even took the screenshots down. So this is what I mentioned in the post. The freaky part is they can go into my phone and delete the screenshot. But a few days later I've gone back and it's back there now. But what I've just realized today is I've taken a screenshot of something that was on Quora, and on the phone here it's saying now go to website. So I can push this and go to the website of Quora. So they're obviously in on your screenshots, your photos. They can control those as well. There's proof of it right there. Okay, so just be aware of that. This was all referring to the Emerald tablets, because of this video took me to Thoth's spaceship. It was all part of the story, and I was just in the middle of doing a big post. And that's the thing with Facebook. These people, if you're doing something they don't want the people to know, then I can't go out and come back in. It will just disappear. Other stories that don't mean much to them, it can sit there for ages. I can go out, go through a couple of other sites to get some confirmed information and come back to my Facebook comment, post, and it'll still be there. But this one was a good one, and they just did away with it. So I've given it. I don't like doing it twice, and I lose it all after that anyway. But I had this video here organised from last night, so we'll get into it. Where's my ruler? It was about explaining the recycling system of Earth and man's spiritual awakening. You know, in the Bible it says you have to be, well, it doesn't specifically because people can't read it, you have to be cleaned out before you are renewed. Okay, so this is the allegory in the skin, the wine skin. You know, the container of the wine has to be replaced, otherwise it'll taint the new skin. You can't semi-awake a person. In your divine awakening, you are killed off, is it consciously, whatever, you're just cleaned out mentally for this rebirth. Okay, you have to be completely reborn, and that's the story of the death and all these gory destruction stories. But no, there's nothing physical or scary about it. You just go through awakening where all the BS gets left behind. All the common stuff that you've learnt through your life that everybody else out there knows, because everybody is born into darkness. Your rebirth brings you into the light. Excuse this funny cough I've got. It comes one day, next day it's gone. Then it sort of comes back again. Funny, like fumes coming up wanting to make me cough. So that brought me to the caduceus, about the purification system, right? Well, that's what it all represents. So what do we got here? We've got the two snakes up the pole, right? We've got, and this is going through the stages of purification. So you can consider this as coming up the spine of man to his awakening. This is the pairing, the male and the female, because it's the male and the female, South Pole, North Pole in the tropics, creates what that science calls the radiation. And this is the electromagnetic dielectric gap, where all the energy is created in the earth that creates the self-perpetuating system. So everything gets shredded on the way up. The hydrogen molecule that rises up through the center, through the tropics, gets shredded, getting shredded, purified as it gets to the top. So it's shredded, ripped to pieces, and then reformed through this crossbar, that's what that represents, into the pairing for purification, where the hydrogen molecule will then go up and be, it goes through the Milky Way. See, you can consider that as going through the Milky Way as well, you see. It has to go through fire to be reborn, and that's represented here, the Milky Way coming up. It's yeah, all the way over into the actual sun on the horizon of the black hole, and that's where it's completely purified and then drifts down to the Arctic North as mist, okay, or is it snow, whatever. But you can go down here, one of the religious stories, Job 37:6, for he saith to the snow, be thou on the earth, likewise to the small rain. Small rain is mist, comes down, and to the great rain of his strength, meaning the whole recycling system and how it works. Okay? For he saith to the snow, be thou on the earth, likewise to the small rain, and to the great rain of his strength. So it's all about the recycling system. How the hydrogen molecule comes down here, goes through the earth, gets used up, whichever way you want to use it, but anyway, it comes back up through the earth, through the tropical gap, gets purified up here. The winds drive the pollution and everything from the north and the south to this point, where all the crap gets ionized out of it, falls to the desert sands, while it's getting purified in here through ionization to come up, to go through the recycling system, fall back down to the centre Arctic, then be sucked down into the subterranean to the Buford Gaia, to go through the earth and be used however we choose to use it. So there's your recycling system. You got the snakes, okay? So let's go back here, right? Purified, cleansed, feet washed in the Bible story, Jesus, because he's on the banks of the river, which is basically on these banks here. It's all described in different stories, banks of the Nile, the Jordan, or whatever. This is considered as the banks. In the Fisher King story, it's the waterfall, because it comes up and just straight down, falls straight down. Now ready for reunification. You've been cleansed, and now the reunification at the top here. You've been cleansed on the way up. Consider this your backbone if you want. Up into your pineal gland region. Enlightenment. Pairing your divine soul mate at the raising of your soul, your kundalini. Up here. Death before resurrection or rebirth is being shredded. The hydrogen molecule gets shredded to pieces, or you in the spiritual story dying and then being reborn at the top here through the purification system. Purification of the waters. It's all about the waters. Electrification. The moon and the earth. So in man's enlightenment story, it's to do with the magnetic field of earth, the electromagnetic atmosphere, ether. The full moon is the strongest magnetic pull on the earth. If you're between the earth and the moon, you are what, basically, you're the, what's the word for the light bulb? You're the light bulb, you're activated. So that's your pineal gland. Okay, so it's this, there's some electrification, there's a magnetic induction, same as the earth, you see. Creates this energy here. Well, the same sort of thing happens inside the human brain. And, you know, there's the story, there's some, beneath the Great Pyramid, or one of the pyramids, down there is a sarcophagus sitting in electrified water. Well, there was at some stage. And this is the story of the pineal gland sitting in water. And at his hour, when he's reunited with God, becomes one, singularity, rebirth, the pineal gland comes out of the water, the water recedes. The flood recedes, another story. Out comes the pineal gland, electrified, so it's a piezoelectric effect. Basically the pineal gland, it's basically a crystal. It's activated. You've seen stories like this in Lost in Space or Star Trek. Okay? The crystal activated. And all these weird things happen to the guys on the ship. That's the same thing. And we know this sort of stuff with crystals, don't we? So they've got the snake venom, okay? So the snake tongues are representing the fire, because you have to go through fire to be reborn, which is your soul or your spirit or something's going through the Milky Way. You know, in a lot of these MD near-death experiences, they talk about going through the tunnel. Well, you're going through the Milky Way, and you want to go to the light. So if anyone tells you don't go to the light, that's BS. You go to the light. So that represents the fire within the Milky Way, or ionization. As it's coming up through here, it's being ionized. Radiation. All the shit falls away. Only the good rises. So it's to do with the pineal gland. Electrification of the fluid. So, and this led me into the blood. Because the Facebook story was snake venom, which takes you into snake venom. See, some people think some snakes will thin your blood, some snakes will thicken or clot your blood, but I think they're both referring to the same thing, because what's actually happening is the snake venom will draw your blood clotting agent into clumps, like into trains. I described them on Facebook as following the Pied Piper out of town. So while they're out of town, you bleed to death. Well, that's basically what happened, and this is what happened in the old... They're pulling out these big blood clots, they're big trains of blood clots. And that's what it is. It thins all the other blood, thins the rest of the blood. Well, the clotting agent forms these communities and leaves you exposed to internal damage. That's the snake venom, that's what's going on. Okay? The crossbar represents the pairing. So you get up here and you find your soul mate, and it's all about the pairing, north and south poles, finding your divine soul mate. When man, his Y and X chromosome, finds his lost X chromosome. So the woman already has two X's. So it's a totally different story. That's why the Bible is all about the male, although the female still has an awakening. So you got to the sun. So this flows up and over to the sun, and you got the son of earth, and then you got the son of man. There's the dual story, okay, in the Bible. The tongue represents, through fire, ionization within the Milky Way. Okay, so this represents the Milky Way, the male and female of the north and south magnetic pole. So we can call them all sorts of things. Weak force, strong force, south pole, north pole, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, you just think it's male and female because it's nature. It's just male and female. And it breaks down like a magnet. It will always break down. So you've got the male and female system going on in here. We've got the female part of the Milky Way here, and the male part coming up over here. That's creation, and then we have our created realm down here, which is a minute. Well, it's minute. It's seen, our whole existence seen in a telescopic point of view. We get our male and female here. Then you can break that down again and go up to 45 degrees. 45 degrees. There's a smaller sample of it, which is north and south, and not on the top of my mind, so I won't go into that. And you'll have your 45 degree up north as well. There's a minor effect of what's going on in the tropics here. And this is all the wind, convergence of the winds you'll see in if you look into meteorology. The main one coming this way, you get these smaller ones this way. That's why you get the wild seas, the what do they call them, the roaring 40s. Magnetic fields meeting at the tropics. Male and female or north and south pole magnetic fields meeting at the tropics on an earthly scale, but at the top is the male and female pairing in spiritual divinity, for there is marriage. We replicate everything down here is the creation. So our whole marriage setup is all from back there. The woman has the veil, because this is the secret time of rebirth. There's a veil. It's at a secret place over the earth that people don't understand, but I've been putting it up on my Patreon page of it. You have raised your soul, found your holy half, your spiritual mate, raised your Christ, also known as your Christ ascension, the long-awaited return of Christ, meaning returning home to singularity, a son of God, or God-like, or half man, half God, all the same thing. Well, I was going to say something else here. Found your holy heart. This is your Lilith. You're going back to Lilith. Realize we lose Lilith at the beginning when we come into the dual world, separated from our Lilith. Male is lost feminine half, spiritual half. Okay. So check these out. Eternal life or destruction. You want eternal life is when you wake up. If you don't wake up in this physical cycle in life while your body's still alive, while your carcass is still active, you go into destruction and go through the whole cycle again. But not very likely that you'll come back to the human. So this is a special opportunity in your cycle of millions of cycles to wake up. If you don't actually spiritually go through the total rebirth, as long as you're aware, you may come back as another human. Otherwise you're just going to go through the animal kingdom. Okay, because you'll get shredded to destruction in more of a physical sense than the spiritual story I'm telling you. This is spiritual ascension, going through your rebirth, but at the end of your physical death, you will go through this literally. Okay? Yeah, okay, so over here, now this I did this a couple of days ago. I've lost what I was on about, but anyway, somehow it's connected to the sovereign orb. Oh no, this is to do with excuse me, out looking at Christmas presents for my grandson. Don't normally shop, but for my grandkids I will. Walked into this shop and it had all this witchcraft and tarot cards and all that sort of stuff. I've never looked into that, and I just picked up this tarot card book for beginners and whatever and started looking at all the tarot cards and noticing all the pictures. They're all representing this divine, all the creation story. And one of them had the queen of something holding her sovereign orb. And this is the shape of it, you see. Well, look at it. It's the bulge in the Milky Way. Two ends of the Milky Way, or Earth, and the above. And then you break it down again, you've got the dome over the individual, man's arc of horizon, and underneath his realm, so you can put the flat earth in the middle here. So it's as above, so below, and it's got this drawn on it. Well, if any of you have seen my earlier video a few months back, about the eggshells, the parting of the eggshells, because that's what the shape of the firmament is. How science has detected all that through zenith cameras and spectroscopy. Yeah, that the firmament is the other half of the shape of the earth. So the mountains go up and down the hills, so does the firmament. It'll come down and lock in like this as one. Well, that's what that is. The royalty, this is all about royalty. We're replicating that down here, but are our royal family really of royalty? I don't think so, because you wouldn't do any evil. If you're from there, or of that, there's no evil would go on. You wouldn't sit back and let anyone bomb anybody or kill anybody. So the parted egg shell, like I was describing, sovereign orb and bulge, the bulge in the Milky Way, the Father and Son on the night side, set in the sky, Sagittarius A. That's when the sun's facing the other way. Okay, you see my other videos, the Milky Way is like this. And the sun's sticking out, poking out that way, and this turns, and the sun's going to come around to your day side. That's day and night. Globe tarts are too thick to understand, or don't want to understand. It's one of their silliest, one of their first questions. Oh, you guys can't even explain day or night. Okay. I was going to expand on this. This took me to. It was to do with my post I was doing, Thoth's spaceship. But I've lost how it's connected to it. But there's some posts to do with, they're on Quora. I went to Quora and I'll put those links on the post and you read them. It's all about, because Thoth and the green tablets is all, this is all about that. And green being the colour of the rainbow in the middle. Yeah, it's all to do with the sun's analemma. What's in here? So you can put all the 6 shades of the rainbow and then you'll find green is right in the middle. The secret spot. But yeah, that was really buzzy trying to connecting that spaceship. But I've lost it, so next time maybe, or some other time. So this purification, check out Acts 4:12. Okay. Romans 6:23, John 37:6. Thanks for watching, and if this makes it out to the public on YouTube, if you like this sort of thing, remember to share it and put a likes up, and consider supporting me on Patreon. Thanks guys.